Hi, this is Sandy from SDS Digital with the final tutorial video on the SDS VCO alternate firmware delay effects distortion. This is modes 10 to 15. Cube distortion, high pass distortion, sub follower, phase times end distortion, and FMLFO. Mode 11 waveforming isn't covered here as it required its own separate video. Mode 10 is called cube distortion and does what it sounds like, cubes the incoming level into a distorted mangle of sound. The left SDS VCO will feed in a triangle wave. Tap in a little melody on the rhythm. Note, this mode isn't so fine with square waves as 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1 and 0 times whatever equals 0, but can be interesting on the slew point. The attack knob does nothing at this time. The decay knob sets the sample rate. Clockwise is faster. CV input offsets this knob. There's a square wave. I'll stretch the envelope on the VCO a bit. The release knob sets the floor level to cancel low-level noise. You can hear almost all of the envelope getting through to the distortion when it's fully clockwise. The trigger gate input, if used, cuts audio when low. Mode 12 is a high pass distortion. Only frequencies above the attack knob setting will make it through to the distortion. The VCO is set to a triangle wave right now. Now to select mode 12. The attack knob sets the filter frequency. Counterclockwise is the lowest frequency. The decay knob sets the distortion amount. The high pass response is to the peaks of the triangle wave at maximum amplitude so it can sound poppy with pure waveforms. The release knob sets the floor level to cancel low-level noise. The trigger gate input cuts when low, as with the previous mode. Mode 13, the sub-follower. This rather odd mode will create subsonic audio by attempting to track the audio input based on amplitude, frequency, and knob settings. The audio result is sent to an XOR distortion and mixes the softer sub in before the output. The attack knob controls this XOR distortion level, and the release knob sets the sub-oscillator's tracking and locking ability. While pleasing with straight audio, this audio output could be fed into an EQ with the lower end turned up to increase the sub-audibility. It's a pretty low frequency most of the time, so it can be also used to modulate other VCOs or filters instead of audio. Let's give it a try with the old drum loop. If you listen carefully, you can hear the sub-oscillator trying to make sense of the audio input, which is changing too quickly to achieve a lock. This acts as a subtone sequencer of sorts and can be interesting if sent through a filter. If you are listening to this video through a system with a sub, you'll hear this derived bass line playing. As with many modes, the TG input acts as a soft audio gate. Off when low. Mode 14, phase times end distortion. This mode adds up to 8 phases together as a phase accumulation and then sends it to the output with no gain compensation. The attack knob sets how far apart the phases are. The decay knob sets the sample rate that can be offset by the CV input at 1 volt per octave if desired. The release knob sets a number of phase samples taken. N is +1 to +8 phase iterations. Depending on the spacing set by attack, some tones will resonate while others will be defeated. This can bring a whole new timbre into an otherwise boring sequence. Lower sample rates can yield some positive results as well, but the lower the rate, the bigger the delay. Adding a CV input will offset the decay knob to alter the sample rate in a positive direction. This phase accumulator can be better heard with a percussion loop, so I'll patch one in. Now I'll put the CV back in from an LFO. You can hear the shift in timing as the delay becomes larger from changing the sample rate. This could be used to add swing to a rhythm. Last but not least is Mode 15, the audio FM LFO. Mode 15 acts the same as FM modulation with a VCO, but the LFO is built in, so you're controlling its frequency and depth, which in turn modulates the sample rate, thus causing a shift in the original audio. The attack knob sets the LFO's frequency up to around 30 Hz. The decay knob sets the depth of the LFO modulation and acts as an offset to the CV in jack, which is being used right now. The release knob, kind of special, sets the distance the playhead is from the record head. You can hear the change in FM intensity when the release knob is adjusted. The sound of a heavily frequency modulated VCO is nothing new, but this can do the same to a mix of VCO's pre or post filter. Another fun thing to do with this mode is feed live audio or a sample into it and modulate it. Or modulate one stereo channel with this while leaving the other one as the original. Well, that's about it for all 16 modes of the SDS VCO alternate firmware delay effects distortion. I hope you have enjoyed these tutorials as much as I have enjoyed making them. I'm Sandy Sims. Keep on patching.